Right, welcome back to the Jackwood Football Podcast. Des Buckingham has been appointed as the new Oxford United head coach. I thought this was going to be a little bit later than Thursday, but it's happened at 5:30 on Thursday. Oxford have confirmed the news. Des Buckingham has joined Oxford after leaving Mumbai City in the Indian Super League. Plenty of excitement, and there's a reason why the name Des Buckingham has been flirted with Oxford fans over the course of probably 10 years. When he left Oxford the first time around, there's risk, and of course, with every appointment, there is plenty of risk, but the excitement is huge, and there's a reason why his name is mentioned. Even when managers are 100% secure in their role here at Oxford, he is always on the radar. As we'll see when reading out the club statement, the word radar does, of course, come up. When researching Buckingham, he has one of the most intriguing, unique and rich CVs in modern coaching and management. It is a fascinating read. To understand the full journey he's been on over the last decade, it's important we create a little timeline, because this CV and timeline I've put together gets quite intense. He's been up to quite a bit. He was promoted to the senior coaching staff at Oxford in the 2013-14 season under then manager Chris Wilder. He then became Wellington Phoenix assistant manager before their interim in 2017. He took them from relegation candidates to promotion candidates, only joining in the January of that 2017 season. He then left to be appointed the New Zealand under-20 manager, qualifying them for multiple major international tournaments. Under his tenure, his side recorded their highest ever finish at a men's FIFA tournament. He was then promoted to the senior New Zealand setup as their assistant manager. Before leaving, he was named Men's Coach of the Year at the New Zealand Football Awards 2020. He was then spotted by the City Football Group, and this is where he became, I think, a little bit more, not established, but more people heard of the name Des Buckingham as this very exciting young upcoming manager slash coach. He became the assistant manager at Melbourne City, of course, one of quite a few football clubs owned by Man City and the City Football Group. But it was Mumbai City that was his most recent destination, and what he achieved at that football club was pretty mind-blowing. He led them to their first ever AFC Champions League win. They were the most successful side to ever compete in the Champions League from India. Last season, he won the Indian Super League with an 18-match unbeaten streak. They broke multiple incredible records: most points and goals in one season, most league wins, and a winning streak in the competition's history. He's also a qualified pilot. Not quite sure how relevant that's going to be in the footballing scene, but Des Buckingham, the new Oxford head coach, can fly a plane. Less relevant, but interesting for sure. I did mention this point when Liam Manning left for Bristol City, but it was very important the identity had its similarities to the previous manager. Of course, there will be changes, and you can't replicate a manager in the way they play football, because every manager will have their differences and want to play in a different way at certain points. However, a sudden gear change stylistically would not benefit this current squad. They couldn't deal with that gear change, and I think it would be a waste if we did see a change quite dramatically in the way that we played football. And Des Buckingham definitely does provide no gear change stylistically. It's very, very similar. He does have his differences that we'll come on to in a minute, and we'll see through the eye, and as it does develop this season as it being Oxford head coach, they will become more visible. However, he did work with Liam Manning, part of the City group, when he was at New York, and of course Buckingham was at Mumbai City and at Melbourne as assistant manager. They did, in fact, he's actually referenced Liam Manning before in an interview, and he said they spoke regularly about the way they see football going and the way they want their coaching philosophies to look like. And I think, again, people will sort of turn their nose up at that because of the way that Liam Manning left. However, you can't really knock the fact that Liam Manning's sides played some quite fantastic football, and Des Buckingham coming in, playing with a lot of similarities, is very, very exciting. The football is progressive, front-footed and possession-based. It fits this squad brilliantly. Maybe less so in this position he finds himself at Oxford at the moment, but his track record of dramatically improving a team is very, very interesting as well. Finding solutions when things aren't working. And of course, that can be in game situations, whether your club is at the top of the league or the bottom of the league. But I think that comes back to the fact that at Wellington Phoenix, he took a side that were destined for relegation to promotion candidates. He got a side playing some fantastic stuff in a short amount of time. Less so in this role, because Oxford are in a very, very good place, and even when they didn't have a manager against Leyton Orient, the patterns of play are very, very clear. These players know now how to play football in that manner. But he can also do that, and he can also improve teams. His individual development of players is incredible. He's got a great track record of doing that too. Oxford's young squad, I think, will really benefit from this. O'Donker, Goodrum, as the Oxford homegrown players, even Josh Johnson coming through, Aidan Wheeler, George Franklin, these players. Of course, on the fringes of this of the squad, that are very young players. Of course, him coming through the same academy that they've come through as well. He's got a great track record of that. But even with the likes of Stanley Mills, we've got quite a young squad, haven't we, anyway? But Finn Stevens, Beadle, Stanley Mills, these young players, even Mark Harris to an extent, these are players I think really will benefit from Des Buckingham. As, of course, the older players will too, but his young player development is something that he speaks quite a lot about in interviews. He also said he wants a job where the environment means he's supported, trusted, and has potential progression. I think he will be supported. The fans will definitely be behind him. He was number one choice by myself, but I think loads and loads of other Oxford fans. He will definitely be trusted. I hope he will be. And the progression, potential progression. I know we're scarred by the Liam Manning era and the way he spoke about long term, but I think his contract will be tied to the fact that won't happen again, or to limit that happening again in that same way and quite dramatic way over a short period of time. Potential progression excites me though. He wants to see a long term, and I can't get too excited about that because so did our last manager who left us very early in that journey he kept speaking about. But I think there will be progression and a potential progression there. He saw it at Mumbai City, and there were opportunities when he could have left, but the City group and himself decided that wasn't the right time. This clearly is the right time and the right project. He might be young, but at 22 years of age, his coaching experience is probably better, or definitely more rich, than quite a few managers in the EFL right now. His CV can't really compete with quite a few people. And again, we keep speaking about the CV and what he's done. There are risks, of course there are, and we'll come on to the risk in just a second. There's one massive risk that we all know that is glaring in our face. But you can't argue with what he's done so far and what he's dealt with and what he's been able to achieve in lots of different corners of the world. You know, it is so much. There's so much there, and a lot to write home about, essentially. Briefly, let's touch on his key principles as a head coach. I've got 3 written down, the 3 key points in my eyes. Intense and ruthless playing style. Now, of course, I think wherever he's gone, he's tried to do that. However, at Mumbai City, where he's built that team, that was unbelievably successful. Eye-catching, result-driven football. Sounds obvious, every manager will say those words, but a quote by him: we set out trying to change the playing style, but to compete and win every given opportunity. Thirdly, and this wasn't a quote, but from looking at the intricate ways he coaches, every delicate move should lead to a potential success. I think that's really interesting. Every intricate passage of play, every detail should lead to a potential success, and his proven track record suggests they do lead to potential successes, and hopefully that's something that he can provide at Oxford. Finally, of course, there is a risk element to this, and it's a risk element glaring us all in the face. The fact he's not yet managed in the Football League before. He has very limited EFL experience. Maybe it's the naive in me, but it's not a huge concern for me. I really don't think it is. He's proven wherever he's gone, culture, league, playing style, group of players, he's been very, very successful. Taken maybe a little bit longer in certain places, but ultimately the end goal in every destination has been a successful one. He's left every place with a very, very good track record, with a lot of people saying very, very positive things. Mumbai City fans, I know how you feel. I honestly do. But he's gone about it in a respectful way from what I can read. He, I imagine, had the dream to be an EFL head coach at one point, and that is now a reality. Finally, from me, Oxford, it's very ambitious. We believe the hefty compensation fee was pumped into making this deal a reality. Of course, Liam Manning leaving, with Chris Hogg provided some funds in that area. It makes total sense for us and for him. He wants to move back to England. That's what's being reported. That's going to now be a reality. It's a fantastic opportunity for him, but I think he will grab it with 2 hands. Every opportunity he's had so far, he's done exactly that. And really, really importantly, the final thing, it keeps the direction clear. The pathway and direction is still very, very clear. And when leaving and having a manager leave mid-season and after 17 games of the campaign, when things are going well, the pathway and direction can easily go wayward. With Des Buckingham, I don't think that's going to be the case. There might be patience involved, that's absolutely fine, but he's got a very, very good squad in a very, very good position, and he's got a fantastic, fantastic opportunity that, like I said, he's got a proven track record of snatching with 2 hands. Good luck, Des. We're all behind you, and let's see you at Cheltenham. I'm really looking forward to that one. Take care. See you later.